the way to entice sanguines is you tell them that, hey, you go there because you could meet a lot of people. You could dress up, you could make up. So actually, that's the reason why I get into this community because I want to dress up.
Hey Zesties! Welcome to the Gleeful Talkshow, where we share zesty stories to cultivate the happiness and hero within. Major shout out to our Zestie, Gerson Velmonte, who is keeping me caffeinated for 2 weeks in a row. Thank you, Master Gerson. And I've also put up a Zesty survey on the episode notes so that I'll get to know you guys a little better and provide you better content in the future. I'll choose one Zestie who have filled out the survey to give 1 month subscription of Blinkist. Make sure to key in your email address on the survey. Blinkist offers key insights from top nonfiction books in a made-for-mobile format. Learn anytime, anywhere. This is not sponsored, by the way. In today's episode, do you want to understand yourself and others? Why do others react differently than we expected? We'll learn more about the 4 temperament theory, or commonly known as 4 personality types. Most of us have a dominant side and a mixture of other types. Our guest for today is a certified public accountant in the Philippines turned entrepreneur. She found her passion in business ownership, leadership, and personal growth. She's a member of ZZG International, a tribe of worldwide independent business owners with a common vision for success and life purpose. So, what does this have to do with personality types? In the world of business, you have to know yourself and others in order to succeed. So please help me welcome Khen Tapdasan. Hi Khen, welcome to the show.
Hi, Glee, and thank you for having me for this episode.
Yes, thank you so much for coming in. And so I know that you've read a lot of books and have applied it in practice, both in life, work, and success. So there are several personality types and personality tests out there. And one in particular, which you are going to talk with us today, is the personality types according to the temperament theory. So could you give us an overview on what these personality types are?
Yeah, actually, this personality type temperament theory, I've got it in the book Personality Plus from Florence Littauer. She's an American author and have been studying personality for 25 plus years already. And I'm really amazed with this book because it has comprised all the behaviors for me to know more about people. So the 4 personality types, according to her and to the book, is that we have sanguine, we call them popular sanguine. We have the perfect melancholy, the powerful choleric, and the peaceful phlegmatic. So these are temperaments. And according to Florence, she said that every person has inborn temperament. So these are our raw material. This is who we are. But we are harnessed and being changed through circumstances, experiences, and environment. That's why we create different personality types. So there will be combination of the 4 temperaments that makes people unique and becomes who they are. So that's basically the personality with temperament theory.
Ah, all right. So there are adjectives before the temperament. So could you take us through what comprises why they are described that way?
I believe Florence made that name to describe every personality. So, for example, sanguine. Florence, the author, made it called popular because sanguine personality are really very enthusiastic. They are popular because they become life of the party. So as we go along, as we talk to each personality, maybe you would be thinking, who are those people? So I'll just share some of the characteristics of sanguines. So they are expressive and they really love people. They get their power when they have a lot of people around them. They are outgoing and mostly they're good in telling stories. because they are fun, they are inspiring and charming, and probably they're also good on stage because they really love people. So especially when you are outside, they're really good in speaking. Also, sanguines have memory for color. So for example, even if it's very basic work like cooking popcorns, they make it more enjoyable. They make people happy. And also, sanguines are like a child. They are wide eyed and very curious, creative, and colorful. Also, sanguines are really cannot say no. So these are the negative things of sanguines. They cannot say no because they are people pleasers. So they want to please people around them, and in the end they could not say no. They're always saying yes, even if they don't already can handle every appointment that they said yes to. And because of their fun and expressive personality, they make friends easily. But few true friends because they forget. So aside from popular sanguine, they have opposite. So the opposite of a sanguine personality are the melancholics. So melancholics actually are the thinker. So if the sanguine is the talker, the melancholics are the thinker and the planner. Because sanguines are disorganized, but melancholics, they are organized. There is a story about melancholic in the book that there was this guy who actually go to the office and he could not start working without even aligning all his pencils in the desk. So that's how organized he is. And melancholics are analytical people. They love to analyze, they love to see graphs and charts. They want to study on their own. And they are also neat and tidy. Mostly melancholics, we relate them to be very serious and purposeful. And the perfect term for melancholics are they are perfectionists. They have ideal standards, but also very emotional because they are compassionate and they are have deep concern with others. And also melancholics are the geniuses of the world. So the best example that Florence sampled in the book is Michelangelo, the painter in the Sistine Chapel. If you could imagine, Michelangelo finished the painting for 4 years in Sistine Chapel because he wanted it to be perfect. So they are intellectual, and also they are detailed conscious, want straight to the point, and they seek ideal mate. So that's perfect melancholies. And another personality are the choleric. So this is another sanguine is an extrovert, outspoken. Melancholic are introverts, and choleric is another extrovert personality. So cholerics are the leaders of the world. They are born leaders. So mostly they get their way. They are compulsive and strong-willed. So if you've met people like they really wanted to have their way, they want to have to do their own way. So they are cholerics. They are decisive, and cholerics are goal-oriented people. So they always wanted to do things their own way and finish it, even if they are not being sensitive already, because they are focused on the results. So that's one of the downside of being a choleric, because they forget to be sensitive. They want the goals to be done no matter whatever it takes. And of course, if melons are also loves to work, cholerics also loves to work, but they delegate it. So they know how to delegate work, and usually they're good in debates. So sometimes it's scary to find a choleric because they can be very strong. There's also the other personality, which is the exact opposite of cholerics. They are the phlegmatic. So when we say from the word peaceful, they really wanted to make everything peace. So they calm the crowd. They have low-key personality. So sometimes you see phlegmatics at the back, at the background, just listening and observing. Phlegmatics has many friends because you can never go wrong with a phlegmatic They're really friendly, easygoing, and easy to get along with because they don't argue. They just always say yes. And phlegmatics are good listeners. So they'll listen to you. If you want to someone to talk to, you could go to a phlegmatic. They're also patient with you and very happy and just easygoing and has administrative ability. So one of the example that we can give to phlegmatics are the like negotiators, or there is this book I've also read about hostage negotiators. So these are phlegmatics because they know how to calm and reconcile people. So that's basically the temperaments, and they are opposites and similar.
I think that even though these types of tests, there are different personality tests out there, and we cannot really label a person for a specific trait. But of course, this just helps us to understand people more, not labeling them, but understanding them. So, aside from that, so can you take us through like what are the benefits of understanding these personality types as we go through life?
Yeah, I actually agree with you with when you said Glee that yeah, instead of changing them, we should understand them. So basically that's the purpose of the book. And the book says understanding yourself so that you can also understand others. So the benefit of the knowing your personality types is really knowing that you are unique, that we are unique in each person is unique, each combination of your personality is unique, and knowing your strengths, your weaknesses, and who you really are could really make you understand yourself more. And there is this saying from John Maxwell. He's one of the well-known best-selling author and speaker. He said that successful people work hard in knowing themselves. If you know who you really are, then you know how to become the best of who you are, and you know your inner selves, improve your personalities, and by doing that you would also understand and get along with others very well. Probably that's one of the basic benefits that this book gave me personally with my own story, knowing myself. I actually took test 10 or 11 years ago. Yeah, I've read the book from 2011, so that's 10 years. And I tested myself, and it went that I have sanguine and choleric combination. So, but they are not really far. Like we have sanguine for 16 points and 15 points for choleric. So, knowing that, I understood that, hey, I wanted to go out, I wanted to meet people. That's why I sometimes have a lot of friends and I have a lot of appointments, travels, or meeting people. And sometimes I could not meet all of them because I understood that saying yes so that I will please people, but I am not that committed in my yes. So that made me understand that that's why I could not say no, because I'm a people pleaser, and I could not relax because I'm a choleric. I always wanted to be goal oriented. So that's what happened to me. And at the same time, it made me analyze and understand people not same as me, because before, of course, you Glee, I understood that if I'm right, and if you want also to confirm that you're the other side of me, you're the introvert, the melon, and the flag personality.
Yes. Yeah, I'm totally am. Like, even I think I took that test before, but I forgot what the combination was. But melancholic is the perfect description for me. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I also agree. So before I thought that I should be like you, right? Because sometimes when we always seek something we don't have, right? So it made me realize, knowing the book, that I should not copy any other personality, and I should be also understand others because they are different from me, and we could leverage each other's strengths. So
yes.
yeah, so that's really one of the benefits of this book. And thank you for affirming that my guess is right.
Yeah, I took the test years ago. I think that was when we were talking about it as well, but I forgot the combination, but I'm very sure I'm melancholic. If we're going to take the test today, let's say we've took the test 10 years ago, do you know if there's a possibility that the personalities change or the combination changes?
That's a very good question. My answer is yes. And even the book said that because our personality, though we have our inborn temperaments, but we are changed according to our experience, our environments, and sometimes we undergo masks of survival. The book tells us that, for example, if for us, we are accountants, right? So if I'm a sanguine and my work is an accountant, so sometimes I copy other personalities so that I could be a melon because accountants are really should be detailed oriented. So in the end, probably you will also change your personality. When you took the test, it might change, but given a circumstance like an emergency, your true personality will really reveal. If I'm a sanguine in my raw material and I'm becoming melon because of my work, but when I'm given an urgent task, I'll be a sanguine. I'll go back to my original personality. But we can change. And the goal actually of the book is really to balance your personalities according to your environment, according to the people you deal with.
So it's like you can adapt to a certain trait or temperament based on the circumstance. However, when an emergency situation arises, your actual or your raw material will prevail. If you could help us cite some examples of popular figures about which one is melancholic or which one is sanguine, if you could share. Hi there, Zestie. Enjoying the conversation? Please don't forget to subscribe and rate this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, or wherever you listen to your pods. You can also follow the show on Instagram and YouTube, where I share clips and highlights of the episode. If you want me to stay caffeinated, you may also buy me a coffee or two. Just head down to the episode notes to find out how. Now, back to the regular program.
Popular Sanguine examples for Filipina actors is Alex Gonzaga, number one YouTuber here in the Philippines. So as you can see, she talks too much, but she's fun in a way, right? The opposite, her sister, is the melancholic. So Tony is a melancholic. That's why they're very opposite. Another melons, as what I've mentioned way back, is Michelangelo. So the famous painter. Another example for me, I'm a sanguine. My sister is a melon. So you are a melon. And for famous personality for cholerics, probably they are the president. Some of the people I've known having choleric personality is one of my friend here in the Philippines. So he's really choleric. He's a lawyer, and I could see that he knows his way. Cholerics also are really goal oriented. He actually have a goal and he wants it his way. And if you could also search, one of example is Louis Carrillo. He's a famous leader and speaker in our community, and he used to be an air traffic controller. He said that he's 100% choleric, and phlegmatic is one of my present day hero because I love this guy. He's really so spoken. His name is Mike Wilson. So he's actually the founder of CZG International, the one that I am connected with. He's a powerful phlegmatic. He wanted to do a work and to just laze around. So that's how phlegmatics are. But you know what? Phlegmatics can also be choleric in a way. They have this iron will personality. If they wanted to, that's why sometimes you should be also careful with phlegmatics because if they want something to happen, they are really focused and they wanted it to finish fast so that they could rest. So
it's like me.
It's like you as well.
Yes.
Wow. It's like I'm describing you.
Yes. So I started the podcast, I think end of Jan, and I've been an avid listener of different podcasts way back, even when I was in Dubai. And I always listen to it. And then last year, 2020, a friend of ours invited me to be a guest in their podcast, Banana Q podcast. And then I thought, oh, it was fun. And then come January, I thought maybe I should just try a podcast as well. And then right then and there, I tried it, like really launch it right away. Only like some research, but not as thorough. Some people launch a podcast when they have like 5 episodes already before really launching it. That's what I read after after I launched the podcast. But what I did was that I just launched it. And that's all. And then 3 months down the line, I'm still here.
Wow. So I think I'm also interested in knowing what really your combination is.
My combination, yes, is melancholic and phlegmatic. I think I was choleric before. I think when back in college, I think I was melancholic choleric before. And then now it changed. Because I just like, oh, I don't want any too much effort or something. When I really love something, I do a lot of effort in it, especially editing the podcast or anything like that. But as much as possible, like if I don't really like it, then I will not really put too much effort on it.
Was that also the same feeling before during college?
No, I'm really choleric when I was in college. Maybe because I think we've talked about this before as well, that because I was the eldest in the family, and maybe I'm like a leader or something in the family circle, but maybe it change, or maybe this is my real personality, the phlegmatic as well. And then maybe when I went out of the house, then and in the workplace or something, I just chilling.
Okay. So because that's why I asked, because there's also this trait of a choleric. Diba? I said phlegmatic can be cholerics, but there's also a trait in the cholerics that they could be phlegmatics. Because cholerics, when they know that they are in control, they know that they're okay with their environment, they could laze around. That's probably why. That's why it's choleric and phlegmatic. You should be very careful of those personalities because they could interchange. Yeah. I have this experience actually. I thought he's a phlegmatic. So I'm a choleric, so I thought I could boss him around, but it turns out that he was just feeling phlegmatic because he's in control. But actually, he's a choleric. That's why we clashed, and that's really a great lesson for me to really know more the person and don't judge the person. I could let people take first the tests. So that's
yeah. So where can they find the test, by the way?
Yeah, that's a very good question. First is you could probably buy the book. So this is the book, Personality Plus, or we have also Amazon, Kindle, or forms in the web. There's the test here. The first chapter has the 40 quiz tests. But I searched in the internet. The closest with the book is the www.gotoquizpersonalityplus.com. So that's the closest that the book test is. I would suggest if you want to really know more about personality and your test it, because the book really talks more about your strengths, your weaknesses, and the combinations.
Great. Thank you, Khen. How about for relationships or our daily interactions with maybe friends or, I don't know, random people?
So that's why I'm really thrilled in knowing this personality because, of course, no man is an island. So we are really working with people, especially in my background that working with business and also about personal growth. I talk to a lot of people. We'll go to first in the business side. If you're talking with sanguine people, if you want to work with them, the way to entice sanguines is you tell them that, hey, you go there because you could meet a lot of people. You could dress up, you could make up. So actually, that's the reason why I get into this community because the reason really was I want to dress up. So that's basically the reason I wanna, because you remember Glee, our work before, we don't usually dress up. We just wear jeans and t-shirts, and I always wanted to wear formal attire and probably heels and dresses. So when I knew that hey, I could dress up. So I went to that event. If you're also talking here in business for melancholics, the only thing also to entice them is you tell them that you should attend our meetings or seminars or probably our webinars now. Zoom webinars because you could get a lot of facts. You could know all the figures, the facts and figures. So because melancholics love numbers, love to analyze and to study on their own. If you're also talking to people who are cholerics, the only way you could also entice them is to tell them that you'll go there because you'll meet leaders, you'll meet the special group of people. They are the best. So that's the actually if you want to tell cholerics about being the best, that's really a go-getter for them. And for phlegmatics, well, you just drag them along. That's how phlegmatics are. They could not say no and just say, hey, I have something to go to. Come with me. So that's how we deal with personality. If you know them in a way, you could indirectly manipulate and study them. But in relationships, so that's also very important because in your relationship, especially if you have your spouse or your boyfriend, girlfriend, you would understand their personality and you would be dealing with them. So in this book, example, the author, Florence is a sanguine and he married a perfect melancholic husband. So imagine they are opposites. And you know what? When they were dating, he said that his husband, Fred, really made lists 10 lists of his ideal wife, and Florence got the 9 list. The 9. And he was thinking of not pursuing the author Florence because she just got 9. So that's how to the extreme are melancholics. And there was this story in the book that when they went to the honeymoon, they went to Bermuda, I think, and they were eating grapes. Grapes. And you know what? Florence was eating, she doesn't know that there is the perfect way of eating grapes, a bunch of grapes. And then Florence eat it like getting everything from the whole and eating them. And at the same time, his husband was observing how she ate the grapes. And he said that, hey, do you know that there's a right way of eating grapes? And then she said, what? And then Fred, her husband, get a bunch, like probably a little bunch of the grapes and put it in the plate. So that's how melons really think of eating grapes. And if only they did not understand the personality, they could have really made a broken relationship just because of the grapes. So that's how important also personality plus temperaments, knowing it with your spouses, even your parents, your kids, your sisters, because you would understand that everyone's different and you'd know how to get along. And that's really the common problem, right? If you don't understand each other, so there will be conflicts. So that's how in relationships and even even business relationships or more.
Is there like an extent of melancholy, like maybe 10 over 10 or 9 over 10 melancholy? Is there a meter?
Actually, when you know more about personality types, you would know that there are the combinations. So there are people who are extremely melancholics or extremely sanguine. So they have like that's 40 all in all. If you score like 40 melancholic, so that I know a friend who's 32 points phlegmatic. So it's really obvious he's really a phleg. Like you could drag him anywhere. But I've also known a friend who's in between, like he's probably 15 points melan and then 14 points phlegmatic. So that's why people are unique because we have different types of combination and different types of level. So that makes them unique. So for example, me, I'm a sanguine, but I'm not an extreme sanguine. So if you want to compare me to a sanguine, I look like a melon. See, it's like if you compare me to your sister, so she's higher sanguine than me, right? That's how people are unique. But I'm still a sanguine, but I'm not the extreme type, like the talkative type or the insensitive type. Some of the sanguines are really insensitive and really forgetful. And for me, I have like 8 8 to 6 points melancholic also. So I tend to be, probably because of our work as well. So that's why I learned how to be melan. But I have least phlegmatic points. So there's a combination. And that's why it's good to know your personality and the people around you.
Very interesting. I forgot how was my combination around it, but I think I'm not sanguine.
You're not sanguine. you're the melan and the phleg or choleric. That's a combination.
Yeah. Or maybe just like maybe the choleric and flag is almost the same. Maybe that's why I get confused of where I am. But really, my super major one is the melancholic.
Yeah, because we're talking already with a combination. So that's also made me very interested because you can really understand more of yourself. So if we have a diagram, in the left side, upper left side is the sanguine and the choleric. So this combination here are the extroverts. So they are the outgoing, outspoken people. And when you have the lower part of the diagram, like phlegmatic and melancholic, they are the introverts. So they are the soft spoken. So these two, like the sanguine and the choleric, are the natural blends. They are natural blends. So sanguine and choleric and phlegmatic and melan. But when you say about sanguine and melan, they are the complementary blends. So they complement each other. Also with choleric and phlegmatic. So mostly people have combination in the natural blends. So some sanguine and choleric. We also have sanguine and phleg, complementary blends. We also have choleric and sanguine. We have choleric melan, but we have least people having choleric phleg personality because they are exactly opposite. And then sanguine and melan. So if your tests will answer sanguine and melan, you could be undergoing a mask of survival because you have conflicting emotions. Like sanguine is the happy person and the melan is the more of the thinker person. We call it gloomy in a way because they're very serious. So that's a question sometimes. But you know what? I have friends who are sanguine melons.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've met people who are sanguine melons probably because of their childhood experience. It was like she used to be a probably she used to be a sanguine, but she has a melon mother. So that's why sometimes you copy your mom or your environment. So that's why you have mask of survival, we call that. And also choleric and phleg are least likely to happen. But yeah, because of environment, I also met people who are choleric and phleg. I think I know you know him, our classmate.
Choleric and phleg. I don't know. Maybe later we can talk about.
Yeah, let's make it a mystery.
Yeah.
But there's a chaw phleg. So I called it chofleg. So when you say if you're sanguine and you're a choleric, you are greatest potential for leadership. Yeah, it's because sanguines know how to deal with people because they're very emotional and they can really talk to people and get along with people. And when you're a choleric, you're strong-willed, so you're good in leadership. If you're a phleg and a melan or a phleg combination, you are the greatest educators because you have this patience and the analytical thinking. That's why most of our geniuses in the world are this personality, melan and phleg. Patient, soft-spoken, but sometimes pessimistic. So also
Yes.
that's the downside because you're critical. You criticize things, but that's okay. That's okay. That's not bad to the extremes. Anything carried to the extremes is bad. If you're a sanguine and a phlegmatic, you can be the best friend of the world. Yeah, because sanguine, you're people person, and then phlegmatic, you are the easygoing. So people would love you. And you know what? My mom is a sanguine phleg. She is a sanguine phleg. That's why she's really friendly and have a lot of friends in our hometown. Yeah. And also, if you're a choleric and a melon, you're the best business person. These are the people who are really very good in business and even in big companies, because choleric, they are goal oriented, melon, they are organized. And the thing that I told you, Glee, that when you are sanguine and you are a melon, that's opposite. You have emotional tendencies, problems. And if you're choleric and a phleg, you're also having that, and you're undergoing masks of survival. So that's how the blends are, the combinations are, and it depends on the level as well.
Very interesting. And a lot of people would really benefit in reading more about this so that they can understand themselves and then others as well. Top tips on how to interact with just a person, even if you don't know yet the personality.
Because I understood the personalities. Every time I meet people or even talk to people, I know I'm a sanguine, but I'm copying the melon and the flag personality, that I listen and observe people. I observe how they talk, how they get along with you. If you're in a crowd, you would really spot directly the sanguine, because
Yes.
you just ask a question and then she answers a lot of answers. And sometimes they're really, when you're in a crowd, they are more active, they are walking around, and then they have this movement. At the same time, you'd know who's a melancholic, because when you're in a crowd and you see a person just being at the corner and just maybe listening, and or probably goes to a room and hide. So that then you'll know he's a melancholic. Or maybe when you ask a question, he thinks first before he answers, or she answers. So that's how you know they're a melon. If you also ask a choleric, you would know, because she or he will answer you direct to the point and with conviction. And when you're in a debate, or you're talking about certain topics, they would insist on their opinion. So that's how cholerics are. And when you know when there's a flag as well, because he's just sitting around and doesn't even care. He's indifferent. So yeah. But as what I've told earlier, you would also be very cautious, because there might be cholerics. If I'm talking to a melancholic and I know already the book, the Personality Plus, I would tend to be more discreet and probably organized in my talking, because I know that melons doesn't like too loud of a crowd, too loud. They want to think before they will give a decision. So you give them time, you give them space. Because before Glee, if you could observe, sometimes when I'm in a crowd, I tend to make everyone happy. So that's why if like you, sometimes I pushed you to join the dance, or yeah, did you remember that? Or maybe some of things we did in college, that you I wanted you to be happy always. And when I know that about this book, I realized that hey, there are people who's happy when they're alone. They're happy when they're just sitting around and not. So that's one of the blessings also of the book that gave me. I understood that there are people who's happy being alone, because I'm a sanguine.
For that one, I think before, when you invite me to things, I didn't really take it offensively or anything. I didn't read the book, but I kind of know you a little bit, like, oh, Khen is like this. So she just likes to invite people, even though I don't know the personality plus at that time. But I think I kind of understood that you are Khen. So I appreciated that invited me and our friends to join some clubs or anything like that. So that was okay, Khen. So before we wrap things up, I wanted to ask you 3 fun questions not related to the topic. Okay. So are you ready? So
Yeah, I'm ready.
so if you would choose an animal as your sidekick in a movie, what animal would that be?
Wow, that's a very good question. Just in my mind, it pops
At top
out.
of your top of your head.
At top of my head, it pops out. I want an eagle. Why? Because I really wanted to fly. and go
Ah.
to places. And you know what? Eagles, aside from they're good in flying because they have really strong wings, they're also very focused. Yeah.
Eagle
They're really
eye.
focused. Eagle eye. They're really
Yeah.
focused. Even if they're at the top in the sky, they could really see someone below. So, and they're very strong. You know what? Eagles are really resilient. They're
Mm.
resilient. Yeah.
Wow, wow. Nice answer. If you have to describe humanity to an alien civilization, how would you describe humanity?
Oh, very good.
Is it too deep question? It's not fun, right?
Yeah, it's deep. It's a futuristic question, but I probably would answer we are the I'm a choleric, so I said we are the best in the universe.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. If you could read minds, how would you use this gift?
Oh, that's a blessing and a curse at the same time, right? Because there's no longer a secret, and you know what? Curiosity really is very important in being human. So probably I'd make it to a better good. Like if I could read minds, I could prevent things from happening.
Nice.
I probably be UN ambassador.
Wow.
Peace, giving peace to the world, and,
Yeah,
and
so
not making war.
so would you like to promote anything right now? Where can our Zesties find you?
Before that, I would like to thank you, Glee, for giving me this chance to be a guest in your podcast and also share the blessings of the book and the personality. So actually, for to all the Zesties out there, you could learn more about the our program in www.syzyginternational.com. That's syzygyintl.com. So you could learn more about our community. Or if you wanna know me, you could follow me in Instagram. It's Khen underscore the gift of becoming. KHEN underscore the gift of becoming. That's one word. Or also my page, the gift of becoming page. So there I also share some of the books I've read and some personal stuffs and also the things that I do. I share, my lifestyle.
Thank you so much, Ken, and the pleasure is ours for you being here in the show.
Thank you so much, Glee.
Hey, Zesty. Thanks for listening. Have you tried the 4 temperament test yet? If so, I'd be very curious to know what your type is. Don't forget to tag me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook once you do.